Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Innovative EdTech, episode number 16, I believe we're up to. How amazing is that? Episode number 16. All right, let me just press a couple of buttons here. We are using some new streaming software tonight, so hopefully everything goes to plan. Fingers crossed that we all have a great night. Well, I hope you are doing really well. I am doing all right. It is wintertime down here in Australia. I think I'm getting sick. I think the children have finally managed to, infect me with something, but I'm going to do my damn best to bring you a wonderful episode tonight for Innovative EdTech. So let's not dilly-dally and let's jump straight in to tonight's episode of Innovative EdTech. Create exciting learning resources with Canva. We're going to jump into this wonderful tool, have a look at Canva, show you around. It's not going to be a deep dive because there is so much to do in Canva, but we're going to have a look at what you could do in the classroom with this powerful tool. So let's get started with episode 16 of Innovative EdTech. Okay, so if we have not met before, my name is Tristan Heron. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are a regular viewer or you are catching up on the recording, thank you so much for joining us. Your support really means a lot to me. It helps me, it motivates me, and it continues to also help other educators around the world so that they can start to look at how educational technology can be used in the classroom with your students. So just a little bit about me if we have not met before. I am the founder and creator of Evolve EdTech, and Evolve EdTech has been around since 2020. It started just before the COVID pandemic as the EdTech teacher, and we have evolved since then. I am a fully qualified K-12 teacher here in Australia. That means that I can teach both primary and secondary students. I have majors in English and history as my secondary teaching subjects, and I am primarily a secondary high school teacher. So that is where my main focus and career has been, but I have also worked in primary schools before. I have been in the classroom for over 10 years now. I have taught every type of student from kindergarten to year 12 at some stage throughout my career, whether that has been as a casual teacher, a temporary teacher, or a substantive teacher, but I have taught everybody at some stage over the last 10 years. And my love and interest of educational technology actually started during my very first high school teaching job in 2012, where I was introduced to the wonderful tool known as a Moodle. If you have seen or you still use Moodle, I'm sure it's an absolute amazing tool now. I haven't seen Moodle for quite a while, but I'm sure it's even better than it was in 2012. I thought it was so amazing that I fell in love with it, and it is where my love of educational technology grew from. It's actually what really motivated me to have a look at how we can engage our young people and really develop their skills, the skills that they're going to need as they move into a vastly technologically different future. So I am an absolute advocate for EdTech, and that's why I'm here presenting to you tonight for Innovative EdTech. All right, let's jump over and have a look at what we're going to explore over the next hour. It's going to be a fast-paced episode today, but we are going to try and cram in as much as we can so that you can see just how amazing Canva is. All right, so in tonight's episode, we are going to go over and explain to you what Canva for Education is and how you can use it within your classroom. How can you use Canva as a teacher? Okay, how could you use it with your students? How could you use it with your school community, your colleagues? What can you do with Canva in the classroom? We're going to jump in and have a look at that. We're then going to head in and have a look at some practical demonstrations tonight. We're actually going to head over to Canva. I'm going to show you we're going to create a couple of resources. We're going to have a look at some templates. We're going to have a look at what we can do with Canva. As I mentioned, it is not a deep dive because there is too much to show you in 60 minutes, but we're just going to get you started with your journey. Then I'm going to go over and show you the Evolve EdTech digital template library. Now, we have created a whole series of digital templates which you can download for absolutely nothing, and you can actually use these in some of your Canva resources. So I'm going to show you how you can access those resources and then give you some ways that you could use them in your classroom. And then we're going to finish off with just sharing some different ways that you can stay connected with us here at Evolve EdTech, and some of the different opportunities or resources or workshops that we also have available for you, because we are very giving here at Evolve EdTech, and we like to make sure that we are supporting our wonderful educators, not only here in Australia, but also around the world. All right, let's jump in and have a look at Canva. So say hello to Canva for Education. If you haven't jumped in and had a look at Canva, I can tell you that you are absolutely missing out. Okay, Canva for Education is such a powerful tool, and it's something that I use here at Evolve EdTech. It's something that, ironically, I am using right now. So I am presenting to you tonight using Canva. So we're going to dive in and have a look at how you could use Canva as an educator, and some of the different ways that you could create amazing learning resources. So let's have a look and see what Canva actually is. That is just absolutely amazing. All right. It is such a powerful tool that it is going to make your life as a teacher in the classroom easier. And you're going to create some beautiful, marvelous, wonderful resources that you can use with your students tomorrow, that you can share with your colleagues, that you can share with your school community. There is so much that you can do with Canva for Education. And I think the really most significant part here is that as an educator, you get this for free. You access all of Canva's premium features for absolutely nothing. Okay. Canva are very big about supporting educators and schools and teachers, and you get all of this for free. Okay. I pay for it here at Evolve EdTech. So I am using all of these on my Evolve EdTech account. I pay for this, and you're getting it for free as an educator. So it is such a powerful suite, and I really encourage you to go and explore it. All right, so what are we going to have a look at tonight? We're going to have a look at a couple of things. Now, hopefully, my memory will keep me going here tonight, and I will remember to do all of these things. So we are going to have a little bit of a demonstration episode where we dive into Canva. I'm going to show you around, show you a couple of basic features to get you started if you're new to Canva, and we are actually going to create some resources tonight. Now, I'm not going to say these necessarily will be the prettiest things in the world, because we are obviously working here as a a demonstration here at a live session, but we will do our best to make these look really wonderful. So tonight we're going to have a look at the following. We're going to try and create a character profile template. Okay, and this is a really great tool that you could create to create character profiles yourself if you're studying a novel or some kind of text, or whether you're going to get your students to create these character profiles. We're also going to have a look at how we could create a timeline infographic. So maybe you're a history teacher, or maybe you've got something in social sciences, or maybe even in some science classes. You might decide to create a timeline, or maybe you get your students to create some kind of timeline. So we're going to have a look at that as well. We're going to have a look at how we can create a presentation. So yes, we can create presentations as teachers and educators. I've got a presentation happening right now that you're currently looking at, but we can actually use the presentation function in a completely different way. And I'll give you some ideas, and I'll tell you about a way that we use the presentation function at my particular school this year. We're going to have a look at how we can create some classroom posters, and hopefully we can get up to it. I'm going to show you how you can create some exit tickets. So we're going to try and have a look at those 5 different ways that we can use Canva tonight. Okay, we're going to try to get through those and show you just what you can do with this amazing tool. So let's head over to Canva and let's get started. All right, so let me just head over to Canva. Now, I'm going to show you in my Evolve EdTech Canva account. You're not going to see anything secretive here. It's all of the wonderful things that we have happening here at Evolve EdTech, but I will just take that one out because you probably don't need to see my electricity bill just there. So we'll pop that one out there because you don't really need to know what my power bill is for this month. All right, so at the moment, I am in my Canva account. If you have your Canva account, okay, you'll come in, it'll open up to, let's actually go to the home page here. We are on the home page. Okay, there we go. So you'll open up to your home page. This is where you'll see all of your recent designs, anything that you have created before. You'll find that just here. Okay, just at the top here, you'll see that we have this little section. What will you design today? Okay, we have a lot of AI powered tools to help us get started with Canva now. So at the moment, you can see here that we can choose from our designs, we can choose from templates, and we can also get Canva AI to get us started if we're not sure what we want to actually do with our particular designs. So you can pop in here, you can search for a design. So if I pop in here and I type in, let's go Innovative EdTech, okay, it's going to hopefully bring up all of my Innovative EdTech presentations. And obviously this first one here, number 16, is the one that we're currently using. Okay, so that is the one that we're using tonight, and I can search all of my previous designs. I can click on templates just here, so I can actually maybe get started with a template from Canva. There are literally thousands of templates that you can access, that you can edit, and you can use in the classroom. So maybe if I pop in here, let's just pop in, I don't know, let's pop in an exit ticket. We're going to look at an exit ticket later, but let's see if something comes up already. There, straight away, we have absolutely truckloads of exit tickets that we could use in class. All right, so maybe later when we get to demonstrating this, we might jump into one of the templates and edit that template so that it's just right for our particular context and needs. So we can do that there. We can also change a couple of things with our categories, okay, and styles and all those kind of things to get us started. But there are absolutely thousands of templates that you can use to get started. And we do have Canva AI here, which is relatively new, okay? It can help you get started with creating something. So you can just pop in here. Let's just get rid of that extra ticket. Okay, describe your idea and it will be brought to life for you. So what a wonderful way to get started if you're not quite sure what you want to do. I'm not going to go to that one today, but that is definitely an option that you can explore. Let me just have a sip of water. Oh gosh, that feels better. Okay, all right. So that is where we actually get started when we are jumping into Canva for the first time. Then over here on our left-hand side, this is where you'll find all of the elements, all of the different features that you'll need to be able to create in Canva. So we have our create button here, which is our purple button at the top. And this is where we'll be able to create a variety of different resources. Okay, it'll bring up some suggestions here. It's a little bit slow right now. Okay, we've got Sheets, which is a relatively new feature, which is where you can create some spreadsheets. We have Docs, we have whiteboards, presentations, you name it, you can create it with Canva. So you can do that. You can also create custom sizes. So if you're looking for a particular size, you can pop in here and create a custom size document. So that is where we can get started if we know kind of what size or what particular function we are creating for, we can get started there. We can also go down here to our projects. This is just where we're going to be able to access any projects that we have created with Canva. So you can see those just there. I've got some folders to try and keep my Canva organized. I'm not going to say it's working very well because I'm not very good at putting things into folders. All right. And you can see your designs there. You can see any images that you might have uploaded or used. Okay. Any videos that you might have used. All right. You can access all of those through your projects. All right. Our templates tab just over here. Okay. This is where we can obviously go and jump into the templates. All right. So we can do that through our create button as well. And you can also do that through templates. All right, our next tab here is our brand. So you can actually have brand kits created. So if you are using Canva Education, had a brain fart there, you'll be able to potentially pop in a brand kit, or your organization will be able to create a brand kit for you. Brand kits are really great because it's where you can pop all of your assets, all of your organizational information, colors, fonts, etc., into one place so that they are able to be accessed by yourself and your team and everyone else. So you can develop some consistency. So I have 3 brand kits in my account here. I've got one for Evolve EdTech, one for the Tech Ready Classroom, which is our digital conference, and one for a brand new initiative that we are working on in the background called the Beyond the Classroom Academy. So that will be announced in due course. I'll tell you more about Beyond the Classroom, but we have 3 brand kits here. I will just jump into the Evolve EdTech brand kit here because there is nothing secretive here other than information about Evolve EdTech. So you can see here that we've just got logos. We've just got some assets that we use. So when we're creating something, we can choose from these particular assets, from these particular logos, and we can use whatever particular logo is relevant for whatever we are creating. All right, we've got a color palette here. So we've got a couple of colors here. So our first 5 colors are our main colors that we use here at Evolve EdTech. And then we've just got some complementary colors just so we can use some different colors when we are creating for you. All right, we do have specific fonts set for our different elements. So when we are using and adding text to our information, we do have some default fonts set. And you can see here that we've got Poppin set as our titles. Okay, so you can actually go in there and already create the kind of the custom, the what's going to appear when you pop in a title in Canva straight away. So we can go and format that and we can pop that in there. Now, I don't have any brand voice. I don't have any photos. We've got some other graphics here that we can also use that were created when I purchased our brand kit. We've got some icons. So basically, it's where you can put everything related to your organization. If you want to keep something consistent, if you're making some social media tiles, okay, your brand kit can come in very handy. Now, you might have to make sure that you have access to that if you're working in an organization, because you might not be able to use that, but that is something that there is available for you as well. All right, the next one is Canva AI. We talked about this at the beginning, okay, being able to use Canva's AI so that we can get started and create something wonderful in Canva. We're not going to have a look at that tonight, but that is definitely something that we could look at in the future. And the last one just over here before we jump into having a look at creating some resources tonight are apps, okay? Apps are wonderful. They are additional functions that you can use to make your Canva presentations, your Canva creations even more amazing. So you can jump in here. You can see there's a whole swag of apps. Okay, some of them do require additional signups. There might be some that require some kind of payment there. Okay, but you can go in there and you can connect a whole swag of apps. Okay, a couple I've used are definitely the QR generators. Okay, to create those. I've also looked at even the music components to add music to some of my TikTok videos and things like that. But it is a wonderful way to really elevate your particular presentations and creations in Canva. So go and check out the apps which are available as well. All right, let's just head back to my presentation. Okay, so the first thing we're going to have a look at tonight is creating a character profile poster. Okay, a character profile poster. So I'm going to head back to Canva. I'm going to head up here to create. Okay, and we are going to create a character profile poster. To make this easy tonight, I am just going to use a presentation style, okay? So I'm just going to use the general presentation that we would see if we were delivering it to a class, because we can actually use this size quite easily and conveniently when it comes to Canva. So we are going to create, obviously, a landscape template for this particular example, okay? If we wanted to turn it and wanted to change that, we could do that by coming down here and using the custom size to change that so that it was a portrait. But just for ease of tonight's presentation, we're just going to start off with a presentation, just a normal presentation style here to get us started. So here is my template, essentially. This is my piece of paper. This is my canvas that I am going to use to get started. Now, you will find that you will have some suggested templates to use when you are in whatever you are using in Canva. They'll kind of try to predict what you might like to use. You can see that I have some here that I previously used or explored for a variety of reasons. Okay, whether I've used them or not is a completely different thing. I might have just gone, that doesn't look right, that's not working, and changed it. You can see all of these different types of presentation templates here, but we're not going to create a presentation. We are actually going to create a template. So we actually don't need to have a look at those templates tonight. All right, so what I would do to get started with creating my template is I would actually head over to my good friend ChatGPT. Let's see if my computer wants to do this, because they were being a little bit slow earlier. So let's just jump over here to ChatGPT. Let's maybe push myself back there a little bit. I feel like I'm really close to you in the frame. As I mentioned, we're using some new streaming software. So this is a bit of a test for us tonight. So thank you for joining us. All right, so I'm in ChatGPT. All right, we would like to create, if I go back here, which presentation? Which one? A character profile poster template. So I'm going to actually get ChatGPT to help me out with maybe some questions, some prompts, some ideas, so that I can use that to create my particular presentation template. So I'm going to get here, I'm going to actually contextualize it. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT that it is a teacher. So you are a year, whoops, hang on. I'm going to move my keyboard to somewhere where I can actually use it. Okay, you are a year 6 teacher in, I'm going to say Victoria, Australia. So I'm going to contextualize it so you might get some information based on Victoria. Right, you are a year 6 teacher in Victoria, Australia. You are currently studying the novel, let's choose one, Boy Overboard with your class. All right, you would like to create a character profile template that your students can use to create posters about key characters from the novel. Please generate a suggested template outline and include relevant headings, prompts, and information that can be used to help your students. Generate this in student-friendly language using Australian English and grammar. Okay, I'm sorry that you had to listen to me actually type that there, because I verbalized every single word that I just used. But I wanted to show you that we really need to be very specific and explicit with our prompting in ChatGPT. Okay, if you haven't checked out our Say It Right, Get It Right presentation, it will go through some of those key points to help you actually write a fantastic prompt. All right, so we popped in our prompt there, and you can see that we have some suggestions on how to create a template here. Now, this might be way too big, okay, for our particular purpose, but we might be able to cherry pick some of this. So Character name. Okay, so let's go back to our template now. I'm going to leave it as a white background so it's nice and simple. I'm going to come over here. Now you can see tools and items over here on the left-hand side have changed. These are, again, contextual, just like if we were using something in Google. These all relate to whatever we're using in Canva. So these are all of our different design elements. So the first one here, they're all of our templates that we can use. Our next one are our elements. So these are basically anything that you can use when it comes to adding vibrancy to your presentation. Your you will find that in elements. Then we have our text, so we can use our plain type of kind of text here. We also have some really funky kind of options that we can also use as well. We have access to our brand kit. We upload images. So if you've got particular images that you would like to use, you can upload those. We've got some other tools here that we can use. Are we just being really slow? Yeah, we're just being really slow tonight. So nothing is really appearing right there. I think my whole computer's being slow, so we might just have to wait. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you can see, oops, no, our tools there. So we've got those tools. Okay, we can access our projects, our apps, and you can see some different apps that I have accessed just there. All right, so if we head back to ChatGPT, it has told me that we should have our character. So I'm actually going to take this just here. I'm going to be a bit lazy tonight. And I'm actually going to take this here. I'm going to go straight over to our Canva presentation, and I'm going to pop that in. As I mentioned, we're not going to make this really special or funky or beautiful tonight. You can, play around with it as much as you like, but we're just going to go really simple so that we can get started. So I'm going to take the heading from our ChatGPT prompt. I'm actually going to put the title of the novel in italics because obviously it is a novel. Okay, so we've got that there. All right, so it says character name. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pop in a box. So if you want to create a box, my suggestion is you come down to your shape and you pop a shape in, okay? Now, it'll always kind of go to your default colors. You can see here it's gone to the Evolve EdTech color. But what we can do is we can actually make it transparent, and we can actually pop in a border here so that we can see that there. So I'm going to pop this in here. Okay, this could easily be used by a student online or printed out. And the wonderful thing here is that we can actually type into these boxes. We don't actually need to add another text box. Now, I am just going to... Oh, why are you not playing fun for me tonight? Okay, all right. Now, there's going to be some text there, hopefully, yes. I'm going to change the color of this text, maybe. Yes, there we go. I'm going to change the color of that text. Okay, so I'm going to pop in there. It's annoying me tonight. Okay, character name. Okay, what I'm going to come and do is I'm actually going to move that so that it is at the top. So I'm actually going to align that to the top so that we have space there to be able to type or write the character name. Okay, so there we go. That is the first part. You could move it over here if you want it in the center. Actually, let's put it in the center. All right, let's pop it there. Okay, so there's a number of different ways that you could do this. Okay, who is the character? All right, so I might actually copy this prompt here as well so that our students or my students have something that they could use. All right, I'm going to come over here and I'm actually going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to show you how we can use this particular box here and so that we don't have to pop in another one and change the background transparency and add all of the different elements like the border. So I've just duplicated that. I've Control-D'd that one and I've just duplicated that one. So now I'm going to come in here on the text. I'm going to change that. I'm going to paste the text that we have here. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, maybe we'll take that prompt out and maybe what we'll do is with those prompts, if I was going to be you, I would probably put those up on a presentation or Google Classroom so that my students have those to refer to. I think they're taking up a little bit of room in this design, so I think we'll take them out this time. But we can pop those in there. So I'm going to make this particular box just a little tiny bit bigger. So again, my students have a little bit of an idea as to how much information that I'm looking for, all right, so that when they're creating this. Okay, let's go here. Let's go important quotes. Okay, so heading back here, again, I'm just going to duplicate this. Do you know what? I'm going to put the quotes just here underneath my character name. So I'm going to pop important quotes in there. Okay, so let's head back here. Character traits, goals and dreams, challenges and relationships or problems. Ooh, what I'm going to choose now. Okay, I like the character traits. Okay, I'm going to pop those in there. So you can see here, all I'm doing is literally just creating this based on some of those different ideas that have been provided to me by ChatGPT. Okay, so that is literally all I'm doing. All right, I'm actually going to move this one down because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in I'm going to put that one in. I'm going to pop in, I'm going to duplicate this one because I would actually like my students to maybe create or find a picture that they think best represents their character. So we've got a little bit of that. So I'm actually going to come here. I'm going to center this and I'm going to say, find an image of what you think, what you think your character looks like. Okay, and then I'll just get them to paste that in there. I'm going to make that smaller, okay, because I don't want that to be, huge. Essentially, my students would paste their particular image over that one there. But essentially, all we're going to do is just continue to kind of build out our template just here. What we could also do, as I mentioned, if you wanted to, we could put in a background color here. So we could maybe make it blue, okay, not the prettiest. All right, it's definitely clashing with everything there. Okay, we could make it a bit of a teal here. We could come in here and all of these different elements and sections, we could make a different color. Okay, if we wanted to make it really vibrant and pretty, there's a number of different things that we could do here. We could also come over here to our elements. Okay, maybe we could find some images that we could include on here. So if you've read Boy Overboard, it does involve a boat. So we could go and potentially find an image of a boat. Let's go something like this. I think that's probably a much nicer boat than what's actually shown in Boy Overboard, but we could definitely pop that in there. Okay, so there's a number of different things that you could do to create a template, all right? It's actually not as scary and as difficult as what you might think it is, all right? It's very easy to come in here and duplicate our elements. So we can definitely just right-click here, okay, and we can duplicate them. Or if you're using a Windows device, just Control D, all right, will duplicate those particular elements so that you're able to use them here, okay? Nice and easy. We're able to create some really fantastic resources that we could use with our students. And when I show you our template gallery later, you will see a swag of resources that have been created using Canva. All right, so we are big Canva advocates here at Evolve EdTech, and that is why we think it is such a powerful tool. So just there, it's not too bad. I'm actually going to change the color. I really don't like that blue. I'm going to stick with the white. Okay, you might go, oh, that's really boring, but it's just nice and clear. It's nice and kind of crisp there. All right, but it's not too bad. It's actually got the foundations of a really great template that you could use with your students. As I mentioned, we could jump in here. We can change the size of that. We could make it into a portrait layout. Portrait layout just there if we didn't want to use the landscape. But it is so simple to be able to create character profiles. As I mentioned, we could create a template like this that we might use to create our own profiles. Again, you could create them by yourself, or you could head over to our wonderful ChatGPT and get it to provide you with some information that you can pop into your character profiles. So a number of different ways that we could create character profiles, not only for our students to use, but also to create some wonderful posters and things that we could pop into our classroom. All right, so there is our first way that you can use Canva. I know that was super fast, and it's definitely my one of my biggest problems is going through and including way too much in a single innovative edtech episode, and I never learn, but it's really simple. Don't be scared to jump in there and create. Play around, see what works. Sometimes I have utter failures. All right. I am not going to admit that everything is perfect when I create something with Canva, but get in there, have some fun, and see what you can do. Okay, so that is our first example. All right, let's head back to our presentation. Okay, let's have a look at how we can create a timeline infographic. So I'm just going to continue with this particular presentation that we've started, just for the ease of time tonight. But I will show you how you can also check out to see if there are any wonderful timeline infographic templates that you could use. So again, if we're creating a timeline here, I might do one for my wonderful colleague, Kerry, to show her how she could create a timeline in Canva. So I've basically got my canvas here, my blank page. Let's pop in a heading. So I'm going to pop in a shape again. All right. That is the place that I suggest you start when you are creating in Canva. The shapes can be your best friends. Okay. You'll also see these purple and pinky color lines that appear. These are very handy if you're somebody that likes to make sure that things are centered, everything is appearing nice and evenly. They are your best friend. All right, so I'm going to pop this shape in here. I'm actually going to make it a little bit longer because I'm actually going to make this a title. Okay, let's change the color because I don't want the Evolve EdTech blue. Let's have this purpley color. Okay, let's change our font. So we're just clicking on our fonts here, and we can just choose any font. Let's do Fred Oka. Okay, all right. So currently size 20, and it's going to probably be black, potentially white, probably white, which is fine. So let's create a poster. Australia. Oops. Australia post COVID. Let's have a look at Australia post-COVID. We've all been through COVID as teachers and educators, so let's go and have a look at this. So this is just all completely fictional, okay, but let's have a look at the world post-COVID. So I've got my heading there. I could obviously come in here. I can change my size if I want to make it bigger because it looks too small. Okay, let's make it a bit bigger. I can change my font if I don't like my font. I can come in here. Oops, too many clicks. I can change it. Okay, I've got different types of fonts that I can choose from. Okay, there are so many options just here that you will have an absolute field day. All right, so what we can do here, if I just want to create a general kind of, actually, I'm going to put in here post-COVID timeline. All right, really simple. I'm going to come over here to my elements, and I want to pop in a straight line. So I'm really lucky that I've already got my line just appearing here in my shapes because obviously I've used one before. But if I haven't got that, all I do is come up here to search elements, and I'm just going to type in line, and there we go. So we've got our line just there. And it looks like if I just press L as well, wonder if I come here and just press L. There you go. If you head over to your particular workspace and you just literally press the letter L, you have a line appear. So I'm going to make this, a little bit bigger. I'm going to take it, and oh, my computer is having a conniption again. So let's see what happens. And I'm actually going to take this and line it up with my heading. So you can see here that I've got that pink line appear here, which means that the edge of this line just here is aligning with the edge of my heading. And I'm going to do the same with the other side. And we can see that it is currently a level line because it is at 0 degrees. All right, I can come up here as well. I can change the color. All right, so I can definitely change that if I'd like to make it a little bit different. I can change our thickness. All right, so I can make it a bit thicker if I'd like to. All right, I can make it into dashes. I can do all kinds of different things just here. Now, I can also add some different ends and starts here. So I could put in a, a square here. I'll do that on the other end as well. Okay, and I can do all kinds of different things here to create my timeline. Then if I really just want a simple timeline, what I could do is I could come here, I could grab some different shapes. So as I mentioned, I'd always go for the square or the rectangle, okay, because it is the best one to manipulate. I'm going to pop that in just here. I'm to make that transparent. I'm going to make my border, okay, a square. I don't care what color it is. It can be black. That's fine. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this a few times. So I'm just going to do Control D, and then I'm just going to move them to where I'd like them to appear on my particular timeline. Okay, I'm going to show you how we can make this look like a timeline in a moment. Okay, so just going to move these. Okay, if you need some more, again, just Control D. Okay, so that you can get some more there. Okay, let's do one more. Oh, why have you gone down there? That's way too low. Okay, here we go. Beautiful. We might put that one up there. No, we might go a bit higher. There we go. So let's say that we have these, what have we got? 2, 4, 6, 7 elements that we want to add to this timeline just here. All right, so we can obviously now head over and we can grab a line. Okay, we can drag it here. Okay, we're going to make that a little bit smaller. We're going to turn that so it's nice and straight. We're going to pop that in, okay, so that we can create a timeline. Okay, nice and simple. And again, you can see that I am, oh, that's not straight. That's 89 degrees. No, 90 degrees. Where are you? 90 degrees. Too far, too far. Okay, we're not going to get to 90 degrees there by the looks of it. That's really annoying. That's really annoying. Oh, no, there we go. Beautiful. Okay, so you can see here that I am adding those to make and create my particular boxes that, where I might get my students to add information about Australia post-COVID. So whatever we're doing, you might be doing something else, okay? That is what we are doing. You might get students to maybe look at a particular part of a historical timeline and create that. All right, I'm just, oh, why are you doing that? Okay, this one's being a bit of a pain right now. Sometimes it likes to do this. Oh, it might be because it's too close. Let's pop it down a little bit further. Sometimes if the elements are really close, it gets really, really hard to be able to create this. I don't know if that's in the middle, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Oh, get off there. But it's going to annoy me if it's not. No, oh. Do you know what? I don't care. Don't care, Tristan, because otherwise you'll sit here and it'll drive you absolutely mad. So that is how simple it is to create a timeline infographic that you could get your students to use. So they could pop in the year, the information. Again, we could head over to Canva. We could head over to our elements. Okay, I might just get a picture of Australia. Okay, so let's get a picture of Australia. I'll just take this plain black and white one just here, and I could pop, this particular image in here somewhere, okay, to make it pretty. Let's get in here. Can we get a virus or something like this? Okay. We'll take this random virus looking thing here. Okay, we could pop some images in here to make it visually appealing. Okay, we might move Australia somewhere else. Let's put Australia there. All right, so we can do a number of different things to create some really great resources and templates that our students could use. How simple is that? A 7-step or a 7-component timeline that your students could use. Okay, we could obviously, if we wanted to, just we could do this as well. We could do all kinds of things to create really simple resources that your students will be able to use. They don't have to be big and fancy, okay, because we don't want our students getting consumed by making sure that, something is absolutely perfect. We want something that is practical, and to me, this is absolutely practical. In fact, I like the look of this one, and it might be something that might go up on the Innovative EdTech website as one of our new templates. I can see some ideas fostering up here in my mind. I can't see them. I can think of them though, can't I? Gosh, I'm a bit silly. Guess this is what feeling sick does to you. But anyway, there is how we can create a timeline. Obviously, if we like to create a presentation down the bottom. And you can see here that we've got 3 dots. 3 dots always mean there are more functions. We can obviously duplicate this particular page. Okay, so we can create a second page if we'd like to continue. We can also come down here. We can just add a new page. All right, if we just like a blank page to get started with. So if I came here to our particular timeline, if I took the end, I'm going to take the fancy end off that one. If I extended this one to the edge of the page, okay, and then if I just, I'm going to show you how to make sure that everything is aligned perfectly. So what I'm going to do is click on this particular element here for the start of our timeline. I'm going to Control C, or okay, I'm going to right click and copy. I'm going to head over to my new page and I'm going to Control V, and it's actually going to put it in the exact location that it was from the previous time that we copied that. So if I was to print this, okay, you would see that that particular blue line would be in the same spot on every single page. All right, so I could come here, I could take off that particular box at the end, make that a straight line there, okay, and then over here, let's say this is the end of it, we can again take off that particular end, take it right to the edge, and then if I was to, oops, doesn't want to, if I was to print these 3 particular pages here, that blue line would be in the same location. Okay, so it would look like you have spent ages creating this template, but all you've done is create it in Canva, and you'll look like an absolute superstar. So being able to create those timelines is super simple. All right, so let's say that perhaps you don't have the time to sit there and create your own timeline in Canva. If you head over here to the left-hand side and click on design, we might be able to find some timelines. So you can see here that we have some timelines. Remember, we're using a presentation, okay? So all of the timelines that will appear will be timelines for presentations, but you could very easily come in here. Let's use this particular template here. So we could pop that one in there. We could manipulate it, change the colors, change the information, do whatever we need to do to create a timeline. So there are lots of wonderful options that you can choose from and access here in design if you don't necessarily have the time to get started and do it yourself. So don't be afraid to jump in and have a look at those, because they are really useful. All right, I have definitely looked at some of these and used some of these myself. So don't think that you are cheating by accessing these resources as well. All right. So far we've looked at 2 different ways that we can use Canva. We've looked at how we can create a character profile, and now we've had a look at how we can create a timeline infographic or a timeline template that our students can use in class. So 2 really simple ways that you can use Canva today as an educator. All right, let's jump in to have a look at our 3rd way, creating a presentation template. All right, so I'm going to head back to our beginning. I'm going to head back to the home page, okay, and I'm going to actually show you how we can do this from the very start. So again, you don't have to create everything from scratch, all right? Don't think that you need to do that, all right? I can tell you that there are a number of different presentations here at Evolve EdTech that I have used and created from templates in Canva, okay? The one I'm using tonight is obviously a brand new one. It's a custom one that we've created, but you don't always have to use those, you don't always have to make it from scratch. Don't be afraid to actually use a template. All right, so we're going to create a presentation. We've got 2 options here. We can click on presentation here on our homepage, or we can come up to our purple create button. I'm going to click on presentation just here. Again, it's going to bring us our presentation template that we're going to use. All right, I'm going to show you and talk about something that we did at my particular school, and we used Canva to create the template assessment task for our Year 8 English students to complete using Google Slides. So we actually created the text in Canva, and then we popped those into Google Slides. So actually looking at Australia, we were looking at how Australia was represented in some poetry. So when I created the template, and I was very lucky enough to create it, I wanted the template to represent Australia. So I popped in, I created my template, and then I went up to design and I typed in Australia. Okay, that's literally all I did. I typed in Australia and I had a look to see what some of the template designs were, and I found one that I liked. And the one that I actually chose was actually this one here, the Australian literature one. And when you click on the template, you'll actually see a variety of different page designs that you can use. You don't have to use them all, but you can use them. So I selected the first page here, which was obviously ultimately my kind of title page for my students and their presentation. And then I had a look at some of these other template pages here, and I manipulated those and I changed those for my particular needs. So it's actually really super simple to be able to create a presentation and jump in there and edit and manipulate it using Canva. So I can pop in here, maybe I don't like that font, I can change that to whatever font I would like to. I don't like that particular picture, I can delete it. All right, so there's so many things that you can do to create customizable templates and presentations. Okay, so I'm just going to pop in a new page here. My computer's being a little bit slow again. Must be feeling a little bit sick like I am right now, and it's just taking its time to process anything. Okay, let's see how long it's going to take to come back to it now. I'll have some hold. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're back. All right, so there is my blank page. Okay, so say I want to have a look at another page in that particular design. I just head back up to design, and then I can see them here. So maybe I want these learning objectives. Okay, I can pop that just in there. Again, maybe I want to move the galar a little bit. All right, I can do that. I can manipulate. I can change. I can pop in my school logo. I can do whatever I need to do to create this particular presentation. I could pop in a blank page here. Then I could create something that is customizable to my particular context. I can pop in those various elements. Okay, I can pop in text. I can do basically anything I want to create this particular presentation template. All right, so it's really simple, really easy to be able to create presentations in Canva. You don't always have to start from scratch. You can actually jump in here and use one of these templates. You can actually mix and match if you want to. So I could come into this particular type of template and I could say, I want that particular slide style. You can do that. There are so many ways that you can create really vibrant presentations, not only to deliver to students, but also for your students to be able to create and demonstrate their understanding in the classroom. So being able to create presentations and really vibrant, engaging presentations is another fantastic feature of Canva. All right, okay, we are definitely running out of time because that is what I always do, but we have two different ways that I just want to show you what else we could do with Canva. And the next one are classroom posters. So if we just head back to Canva, I'm going to head back to our homepage here. If I just come over here, I'm going to go to templates this time, and I'm going to have a look. I'm literally going to type in classroom posters. Okay, I'm literally going to be that generic. Look at this. Straight away, we have oodles of classroom posters, motivational posts. Okay, we've got some different kind of classroom rules templates here. We can use these. We've got some birthday templates. We have a variety of templates that we can use to get started. So I'm going to actually grab this one. Grab this one just here, this classroom rules one. Okay, and we're actually going to go and edit this template. So all we do here is we jump in, we let my computer catch up because it's obviously a little bit slow. So we just let it catch up, la, 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 la. Okay, there we go. All right, so we've got it there, and all we do here is come down to the purple customize this template button, and we're going to press that. Okay, so now that template is going to open for us, and now we can jump in and we can customize and edit this to our heart's content. So we've got it just here. Let's say we don't like that background color. Okay, we can go and we can change it. Okay, this is the great thing about these templates. There's so many things for you to use. So I don't like that blue. Let's go and choose something more vibrant like this particular yellow. Okay, I don't like that font. I can go and change that font. Okay, just a little bit slow again. Let's just wait. Have a quick drink break. Okay. All right, there we go. So I might change this from ballpoint. Let's change it to something simple like Canva Sans. Okay, it doesn't fit just there, so we need to change the size. Okay, one really great thing about Canva as well is that when you are using particular elements, you'll get this option here to change all. So everywhere where we've had that ballpoint font, which is most of this, if I click change all, it'll change all of that. Now, it looks terrible because it needs a little bit of editing, but that's really simple to do. All right, so let's just change that back to ballpoint because I think it doesn't look very good. Okay, so let's just go back here. Oh my goodness, probably could have made this much easier for myself if I okay, almost there. All right, there we go. Oh, I've changed to the blue. Okay, there you go. So we can jump in there. We can change, obviously, all of this information. We can do whatever we want. But the templates are a really great place to get started if you want to create something for your classroom. So if we come back here to our templates, let's say I'm looking for language techniques. So I'm an English teacher. Let's say I'm looking for some language techniques. Let's see. I've spelled language wrong, but let's have a look there. Let's see if any templates come up here. Okay, beautiful. Look, here's my simile straight away. Okay, it's got 7 pages, which means I believe it's probably going to have some different techniques in here as well. So if we jump in just here, okay, let's customize this template. Let's have a look at what it gives us. Okay, figurative language. Yep, simile, metaphor, alliteration, idiom here. Okay, so if you're looking for some language techniques and figurative language posters to pop up in the classroom, and you don't feel like creating them yourself, jump in and have a look at the templates in Canva and see what you can find. Of course, creating them yourself means that you can customize them for your specific needs, okay, and your specific students. But if you don't necessarily have the time to get started with creating them yourself, there are absolutely oodles of options that you can access in Canva. Okay, let's finish this off. We did talk about exit tickets, so let's just go and have a look at templates. Again, you can create these yourself, and we do have some exit ticket templates available on the Evolve EdTech website, which I will show you in a moment. Okay, but let's go and have a look at one of these. So let's just jump in and click on this first one just here. Okay, let's use this template because we are running out of time this evening, and you know, we need to get through this. So let's have a look at this template. Okay, so when this comes and appears here, you can see that it is a pretty nice template. If we were to print this out, it'd probably be about an A5 page, half a page. Okay, again, you could use this in a variety of different ways. You could pop this into Google Slides. You could pop this into Google Classroom. You could do all kinds of things here. Okay, it's a very simple exit ticket here. Okay, 3 keywords about today's lesson. 2 questions I have. 1 important thing that I learned today. Again, you could come in here, you could customize this, and you could make it whatever you were looking for. Maybe it's a quote, maybe it's a keyword. Okay, maybe you're looking to see misconceptions because you want to create some kind of next lesson that follows up on something like that. Maybe you're looking at, I've done one before where I have had some, got my students to create some hashtags about something. There are so many different ways that you could use exit tickets. And as I mentioned, if you don't have time to create them yourselves, there are oodles of templates that you can come in and access here in Canva, okay, to get you started. So find a design that you might like, change it, change the font, change the color, change the number of exit tickets available on a single page. Do what works for you, all right? Because obviously it's your class, you know your students, but here is a way to get started, okay? Here is a way to create something from somebody else's template that suits your particular context and students. All right, that was an absolute whirlwind of an episode tonight, but we're actually not finished yet. Okay, yes, Tristan does like to run over time all the time, and he has done the same thing tonight. Okay, so we have created a character profile poster and a template, so we've created that. We've had a look at how we could create a timeline infographic, okay, that you might like to display in your classroom or that you might get your students to create. We've had a look at how we can create a presentation template, and we've used one of the pre-created template designs available in Canva to get us started. We've had a look at how we can use a pre-created template to create some classroom posters. Obviously, very similar process to our profile posters to create something if we'd like to create something for our classrooms that is created by us. And we've had a look at how we can use some of those different templates when it comes to exit tickets and how we could manipulate those for our particular context. So we've had a look at those tonight. All right, now, because I always like to over-deliver, I have a bonus tip for you tonight because I am such a generous person. All right, I just want to show you how you can download and also be able to share your resources. So if you want to print them out, that's absolutely cool. I'm not saying you can't do that. Go for it. If you want to download them so you can pop them in Google Classroom or pop them into a form or pop them into a presentation, okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's head back to our, let's say, our Boy Overboard template just here. Okay, so I've just gone back to my Boy Overboard character profile. All I need to do to be able to download is I just come up to the top right-hand corner to my share button. Okay, I click on my share button, and now you'll see every share option under the sun. Okay, what we want to choose is this one here, download. So we're going to click on download, and then you'll see some more options appear. All right, we have the option to download as a PDF. We can download it as a PowerPoint document. We can download it as a video, a JPEG, a PNG. We can even download it as a GIF if we have some different kind of elements in there as well. So let's say I want to download this particular document as a PNG because I want to upload it into a Google slide for my students to use. All right. What I will do is I will click on PNG just here. Okay, I would just leave the size. I would just leave this. If you'd like a transparent background because you're going to use something as like a graphic over something else, make sure you click on transparent background. Doesn't really matter in this particular case because our background is white. And then you'll see here that we can download all of the pages in this document, or we can be specific. So I just want to download page number 1. So I'm going to click on current page, page 1. Going to come down here to done. Okay, make sure that all of my preferences are right. And then I'm just going to click download. And that is going to download that particular page as my PNG file. Okay, and you will find it will appear. You can't see it on your screen right now, but it has appeared in my downloads options. Okay. So that is how easy it is to download a document. All right. If we wanted to come up here and download as a PDF, same thing. We come up to share, we come to download. Okay. I would just do PDF standard. Okay. If I just want the first page again, I just make sure that's selected, and then I will download that particular page as a PDF document so that I could print it out or use it or share it with my students or my colleagues or whatever I am deciding to do. Okay, so it is really super simple to be able to download single and multiple pages in any presentation or any creation that you have designed and made and mastered with Canva. Okay, so that is another wonderful tool that you can do. All right, so the next part, we're almost there. because we love supporting educators here at Evolve EdTech, we have actually created for you a suite of digital templates that you can access for absolutely free. So let's head over. I'm going to head over to the Evolve EdTech website. So evolveedtech.com. So head over to the Evolve EdTech website and everything related to Evolve EdTech. Okay, and look at our beautiful website there properly. All right, so what you're going to do to access our templates is there's a couple of ways that you can do this. If you are on our homepage, and my computer is again having a moment, all right, all you need to do is scroll down and you will see a little section, okay, that just looks like this, where you'll be able to explore our templates. You'll just click on this kind of peachy, reddy color here, this particular button, and that will take you to our digital templates, okay? So that's one way that you can access our digital templates. Another way that you can access our digital templates is if you head up to our menu bar here, you head over to resources, and there you will find our digital templates. So if you click on digital templates, you will find, and I said I think it was over 70, I counted them last night, and I think there's 20 templates there for you to use. So you can see that there are an absolute truckload of different templates that you can, jump in and access today. So I did mention earlier about a exit ticket that I created, and I think it's in here. It's called hashtag summaries. Okay, so basically I would download this one, got to complete this form here, okay, and it will get it template. Okay, it says using a post-it note, create a short, sharp, and engaging hashtag to represent something new or interesting that you learned in today's lesson. You could have that quite easily in a Google Slides presentation, okay, where your students just head over and grab a hashtag, or even just a square box where they write down a short, sharp hashtag that represents something that they have done. And that is a super simple exit ticket that you could complete with your students. But if you jump over to the Evolve EdTech website, you'll see that we have an absolute truckload of templates that you can access just there, and they are all 100% free, and they are free forever. All right, so head over to Evolve EdTech's website, check them out, because again, you don't always need to start from scratch. All right, if there's something here that you like, download it and absolutely use it in the classroom. Okay, we are getting slowly to the end. We've got one little tiny thing left to talk about. Let me head over and click on my presentation here so the screen looks beautiful. Okay. All right, so we talked about that. Okay, so let's wrap up tonight's episode and have a look at some of the benefits of using Canva to create really exciting learning resources for your students, your colleagues, and you know what? There could also be resources and graphics and images that you could share with your school community. All right, benefit number one, Canva saves time with ready-to-use templates. So we had a look at this tonight. We saw that Canva has a truckload of free customizable templates that you can go in. You can access those, you can change those, you can manipulate those for your particular school, your colors, your context, whatever it is. Canva has something, no doubt, that you can use to get started. So save time with ready-to-use templates. Okay, you can create visually engaging information for your students to capture their attention and support the different learning styles of the students that we have in our classes. You have icons, illustrations, fonts, animations. You have so many different elements that you can use to help create visually engaging presentations and resources that you can use with your students. Okay. All right. Canva is very easy to use. There's no design skills needed. You actually don't need to be a graphic designer to be able to use Canva. You can use Canva. I can guarantee it. It might take a little bit of practice, but you can do it. Canva is drag and drop. You saw me demonstrate that tonight. You can do all kinds of different things. You don't need that experience, okay? It is simple, but it takes a little bit of practice to be able to create something that is, absolutely stunning, but you can do it. I can guarantee you can do it with Canva. Okay, Canva supports collaboration and feedback, so we can actually use it to co-create resources. Okay, we can work with our students, we can get them to share their documents with us. I had a young man who I was working with this afternoon share a document with me that they were working on, so I was able to have a look at that. Okay, we can have that collaboration, and we can do that quite simply and easily with Canva. Okay, Canva is also able to be we're able to say really organized and make our content shareable, which is fantastic. So you saw that I have those folders where I try to keep my Canva content. I have it nice and neat there so that it's clear. Okay, we can share things onto Google Classroom. There's so many different ways that we can organize and share Canva content with our students, colleagues, and school community. And our final reason why Canva is just an amazing tool is that you have that access to those free premium features with Canva for Education. All right. So you must make sure that you are a verified teacher. Okay. That just involves a little tiny process that you can go and Google and find out more about on the Canva website. Okay. But as a verified Canva for Education user, you have access to all of those premium features, which other people have to actually pay for. So it is such a benefit. It is such an incentive to use this tool to be able to access all of those features that other people actually have to pay for. Well, that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for joining us. If you've made it through this episode, I feel I feel so tired right now. I really hope this bug doesn't get me, but I'm going to keep persevering. All right, so thank you for joining us. We hope that you've taken something away about Canva. As I mentioned, we really didn't have time. We're over time right now to show you every single thing of Canva. It is so big, it is so powerful, but there's so many wonderful things that you could do with this tool, and it's something that I think you should just go out there and experiment with. I say that about every single tool that we share here at Evolve EdTech. Jump in, play around, see what you can do. Okay, that is my biggest piece of advice. See what you can do with it, see if it's right for you, okay, and then decide if you're going to add it to your EdTech toolkit. All right, well, before we head off tonight, we would love to stay connected here at Evolve EdTech with you. So if you haven't done so already, we'd love for you to head over to the Evolve EdTech website. Okay, you can check out our digital templates as we've shown to you tonight. We've got a whole page of free training and resources. You can access all kinds of things from the Evolve EdTech website. So head over and check that out. All right, the second thing we'd love for you to do is, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the Evolve EdTech YouTube channel. By subscribing, it's one way to support our mission here at Evolve EdTech. It will also make me so happy to see some more subscribers. I'd love to get to 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe and encourage your colleagues to also join us here at Evolve EdTech. And make sure you give this video a big thumbs up so that it starts to be presented and suggested for other educators. All right, you can join us on our social channels. We are on Facebook, Instagram. We do have a TikTok account, and we do have our Pinterest account, which you can also head over and have a look at. All right, if you haven't done so, you can check out the previous episodes of Innovative EdTech. All right, so just head over to the Evolve EdTech YouTube channel and just have a look at the Innovative EdTech playlist. All right, and that's where you'll be able to find all of our previous episodes. Okay, if you are joining us here and you are based in Australia or you're somewhere else in the world, we have a wonderful session coming up in just over a week's time. Okay, it is at one of our school holiday sessions because we are still in the middle of the school year down here in Australia. And we will be holding a session on Monday, the 7th of July at 7 p.m. Melbourne, Australia time, called Confidently Create with Google Vids, a hands-on introduction for teachers. So we are going to have a look at this wonderful, powerful tool known as Google Vids. Okay, and it looks like I'm tripping out there, and you can see that a lot of things are being doubled up there because I tried to do this before the session started tonight, and I failed miserably. I'm going to blame feeling sick for that. So please, if you'd like to join us for that one, just head over to evolveedtech.com/Google Vids Workshop to register for your free access. And that brings us to the end. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will be back again on Wednesday, the 6th of August, with our next Innovative EdTech episode number 17, Creating Engaging Choice Boards Using Canva and Google Slides. So I'm going to show you how you can create a choice board for your students to use in class using Canva and Google Slides. Two wonderful tools. One of them that we've looked at tonight, another wonderful tool that I love as well, Google Slides. So come and join us on Wednesday, the 6th of August for our next episode as part of our Innovative EdTech series here at Evolve EdTech. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I feel absolutely terrible, and I'm going to go and get ready to head to bed before I head off for another big day tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us if you've made it through the episode. I know it was an absolute whirlwind, but thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching the recording, thank you so much for being here with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Evolve EdTech YouTube channel, and we will catch you again in August for episode 17 of Innovative EdTech. Until then, everybody, stay safe, and we will see you again very soon.